A creator recognizes that there's valleys, there's pain, there's confusion. In this whole human experience, it's the totality. We each have the capacity to use what life offers us, to evolve ourselves, to expand our minds, our perceptions, to offer kindness. We're going to be talking about literally creation and being a creator and the power to connect to that creative spirit within each of us, and that each of us has the capacity, no matter what is happening in the external world, to co-create with this existence. We're not just a passive observer. We're active. We're participants in this life. Your life matters, my life matters, and life gave us this exact moment, no matter what's happening in here. No matter what's happening in the external world, we have the capacity to be able to begin again, to be able to tune in, respond, versus just reacting. We can shift our reactions. We can consciously respond. We each have the capacity to shift the meaning and circumstances to a higher truth or to a broader truth, and to live a kinder way. When you think of being a creator, when you think of being a co-creator, what comes to mind? Kindness, magic, sharing love, feeling free, harmony, happiness, family, fireworks, service, peace, being yourself, blessed. So now let's tap into the destroyer. And I want to preface this because if you think of Mother Nature, there's creation and destruction, true? And so today when we're speaking, there's a time and a space of destruction. We can be a destroyer of limitation, destroyer of negativity, destroyer of struggles, destroyer of habit, destroyer of fear. Okay, so you get a sense. So there's a benevolent and a positive intent to destruction. Now, we can also destroy our own happiness. We can be destroyer of the connection and a destroyer of the intimacy, destroyer of the love, destroyer of opportunities, destroyer of our peace, destroyer of not being present. So you think of that, these energies that are alive within us, and the true power that really puts us in the seat to be able to navigate all circumstances, no matter how much confusion in our own mind. The question to really tune into is who's in charge? Which energy are you feeding? Am I adding to the harmony or am I adding to the schism? Am I perpetuating the hatred by comments on social media? And a creator is not only willing, but committed, I suppose, about taking responsibility for our experience of life. As a creator, we commit to catch ourselves, not to blame, not to shame ourselves and others. There's just enough of that in the world. Social media, the news. Tony teaches a process called the Triad. I want to share this framework because, number one, it's so simple, but it's also powerful because it's how we can bring the notion and the lens of creation and destruction into our day-to-day life and literally affect any given moment. And by the way, these are 3 frameworks that changes the way that we relate to life. So let's begin with physiology. How we use our bodies, how we use our energy. Actually, as we're saying it, let's just all adjust ourselves. Let's just connect to this as we're speaking this. Our posture, how we're breathing. And this shapes literally how we experience and perceive life. Tony always says that motion equals emotion. And this is really the ignition of the transformation for each of us.
What you need to do is make a radical change in the way you use what we call your physiology, the way you use your physical body. If you change the tempo at which they move, you bring their shoulders back and change their breathing pattern, if they make a faster gesture, if they speak more rapidly, it fires off a different biochemistry in you. And in that state, you will take radically different actions. In fact, Harvard finally did a study where they proved what I did worked, and they called it these power positions. Put both your hands on your hips like Wonder Woman or Superman or that stuff. If you stand like this and you breathe deep for just 2 minutes, What the science found was that you will absolutely increase your testosterone by 20%, man or woman. You'll drop your cortisol, which as you know is the stress hormone, by 22%, and you're 33% more likely to take action if you wouldn't have before because fear would have stopped you. Now, I don't have people just stand like this. I have people move, use their voice, make radical changes in their body, and you'll feel it after 2 minutes. It produces more certainty in you, and that certainty gets you to take different actions.
Well, that's so beautifully demonstrated and anchored in the power of physiology and the triad. Who can relate to feeling physically stuck just because of the way that maybe you're using your body, or just feeling defeated? And it has a look, doesn't it? So how do we move this energy through, and how do we activate and claim different aspects of our physiology? This is how we co-create, okay? Number 2, focus is feeding our mind. It's a daily practice. It's a daily way to attune our focus. And, you know, as life continues to offer it all to us, our focus, what we put our attention on. Are we putting our attention on the world is terrifying? Or the focus that, gosh, there's good human beings? Maybe the external confusion guided you to prayer, guided you to finding a practice to support ourselves. So you can see that the meanings, the questions, where's the good in this? It's what we focus on. What am I missing? What am I not seeing? All very powerful and transformative questions to help to guide our focus back to a greater truth. All right, number 3, language. Words carry a currency. They carry an energy, a potency. They carry the currency and transmission of love. Words can also add to the schism and carry the weight of confusion. Words can even sound and feel hateful. They are not only a currency and an energy, they are what forms and defines our reality, the beauty of it and the pain of it. And so with the power of our words, there's the obvious. So what are we putting out into the world? What are we putting into our relationships through our words? With our children? With our partners? Just think about it for a moment. How do you use your words? And how do you use your words, your physiology, and the power of focus in this community potentially differently than you do at home? The power of focus in your day-to-day life at home or in work or with coworkers or friends. What are you more focused on? The problem? The schism? Is it more destructive energy or love? You and I, we have the beautiful gift and awareness that we can co-create, that we are the architects of our reality, that each of us has a divine spark to bring harmony where there's confusion, to bring our understanding and our curiosity. That is how we co-create with this beautiful gift called our lives.